Welcome to Star Wars Scotch, episode 122. I'm your host, Tim, aka Darkness429 on the gaming world. Joined alongside me over here, Kevin, aka Kevin X Vision, aka K Magic 101, aka Rare Drop CEO, GCX producer. Am I forgetting anything?
Jedi Knight. I don't know.
Jedi Knight, awesome dad. All right. Fucking A, dude. You have so many titles. It's ridiculous.
Actually, this morning, because Hunter's off from school, so he wants me to wake him up to watch Mando now.
Yeah.
So I woke him up at like the end of Bad Batch to give him some time to get out of bed, but he like hopped out of bed, hops on the couch, and then Julesy gets up, and they both like were snuggled on me. I was on my couch under the blanket with me watching it.
Yeah.
And Julesy kept going, "Oh my gosh, it's baby yoga. It's baby yoga."
Man, okay, so I also was joined by my child for Mando. I told him last night, I was like, well, do you want to watch Mando with me? He's like, yes, because he watched last week's episode and he really liked it. And so I was like, do you want to watch Mando with me? He's like, yes. So he sat down and watched Mando the entire time. Why is he going down the stairs? Where is Padme Amidala? Where is, because they were on Coruscant for this episode. We'll talk about it later, but he's like, Dr. Pershing's walking around. He's like, is he gonna go see Padme Amidala? And I just like, so he's asking all these questions. I'm like, Kyler, I don't know. I'm not sure. Shh, Kyler, I don't know. It was so cute. And like, I was trying to talk him through it, but man, it is so cool. It was so neat to like watch Mando with him. So it was good. Good
yeah,
time,
we were snuggling, and then I didn't want to get up because they are never just lay with me like that. So we were watching Little Mermaid after that, and it took me a little while to get off the couch. But
fantastic. Well, hopefully you started your morning with some King's Coast.
I did right here. We also, while I was drinking the King's Coast in the car, I was listening to the end of A Queen's Hope, and they say shit at the end, and Hunter goes, "That's a bad word. That's a bad word. Why are they saying that in Star Wars? That's a bad word." And I'm like, calm down. If you're mature enough to realize it's a bad word, then you're fine. And he's like, I don't know why they're doing that in Star Wars. I'm like, it's not good. Don't worry about it.
Not in my Christian Minecraft server, you won't.
Seriously, that's how it felt.
Holy crap, that's so good.
Anyway, but yeah, I had this delicious King's Coast coffee here in this delicious King's Coast coffee mug. I had someone
stop eating
yesterday.
the mug. I told you to stop eating the mugs.
Oh, I was on with our fine friends at Digital Extremes on a call yesterday, and I was talking to Megan, and Megan was saying the day she got home from her Jamaican vacation is the day we released Jamaica Blue Mountain. So she's like, oh, how did you know? Damn it, now I have to pay the shipping to Canada. Oh, God, I need it. It's like, we planned it specifically around your vacation, Meg. So, but yeah.
If you're looking for Jamaican Blue, you're not going to find it. But you will find a bunch of other awesome roasts over at kingscoastcoffee.com. We got amazing single origin blends. We've got roaster's choice. We've got some famous people with their own coffees over there, like Dr. Lupo, Kokanaj, and even that Dr. 429 guy. So, we're probably serving coffee over on Long Island. We're not in Long Island. We're on Long Island. So head on over kingscoastcoffee.com and you can get some fresh coffee delivered to your doorstep. Was that a good like Long Island accent? Like I was harnessing my inner Abby. Did I nail it?
There was some points where you dropped off a little bit. For I would give you like an 85% on that.
Yes, I'll take it, Kevin. Be like, I've only been living on the island for a couple years. I'm sorry.
You got a little Boston in there. You got
it's a little bit.
You can't drag your vowels. That's when you hit Boston.
No. Oh, I'm so sorry.
But yeah, it was about it. It was pretty good.
All right.
It was pretty good. I was gonna ask, are you and Lupo still fighting?
Yeah, we're gonna actually have a duel at GCX. So head on over to gcxevent.com and you can get your tickets today. We've got our hotel blocks available. We've got our premiere pass. We are currently at like 80+% full on the show floor, Kevin.
More than that now.
Holy crap. Kevin just tweeted out 2 days ago that we're 80% full on the show floor. And now he's saying here live on Star Wars and Scotch that we're more than that.
I had to tell someone no yesterday.
Holy shit, Kevin. Pardon my French, but wow, you know someone.
This is the including COVID years. This will be the 8th year of the event. And I would say 2 of them, there was no booths or anything, meaning 2020 and 2015. And we have never, ever, ever had the floor this full in March. to the point where I'm holding space for some of the bigger folks that just need to sign some contracts and stuff. And then a vendor yesterday came to me and said, like, hey, can we pay in June? I said, you could try, but your spot probably be gone by then. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Wow.
Yeah. And then another person was like, I love to do this. And I was like, I don't have space for you. I'm sorry. It's unfortunate.
Wow, that's so cool.
Sorry. So we're full, and yeah, it's gonna be great. We're arcade is back in full force. I'll say this. We are doing everything we can to make sure the arcade and the tabletop room and D&D is open overnight, meaning, you know, you can leave after dark, mosey on over to the arcade, get some drinks with your friends, go play some D&D, play some Magic. I know our friends at Nerd Brew are again going to be bringing, so if you're into Magic, I will say this, our friends at Nerd Brew are bringing some, I don't know Magic. I know there's a new Lord of the Rings set, but they're bringing some Commander something. I don't know. They were like, it's really special. And I was like, okay.
Sounds like they're bringing a robot.
I told Mike and Rob and they freaked out. So
okay.
I don't know. So if you're into Magic, pay attention because they're going to do something. Also, did you see on the Magic the Gathering cards? Yeah, Paul, I'll send you the email. The Magic the Gathering cards, they did the Lord of the Rings set that's coming out, I think, this week.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
There is one. So there is a One Ring card, but there is a one ring card. There is a separate one, a limited edition, and there's only one of them that they're printing in this crazy foil and stuff.
What and the Willy Wonka shit is this?
I sent it to Rob and Mike last night, and Rob goes, that thing's going to be worth more than my house.
Oh my God. You want to get a set? You want to play Magic Lord of the Rings?
So they're trying to use this to get me into TCG. That's their goal, is they think that Lord of the Rings will be my gateway. And I honestly, I'm looking at the cards and I'm like, I don't know about this. I might have, I just can't afford another like hobby game.
We could play. It could be fun.
Oh, Tim.
We could have Magic nights.
Is there a Star Wars trading card game?
I don't know, but we could have Magic nights.
We're so nerdy.
We could have drinks and Magic night. That would be sick. Or, you know, we could just we could play Magic with people at GCX. Kevin, we could go kick attendees' ass.
So listen here, if you're coming to GCX and you're into that, why don't you teach Tim and I how to play Magic at GCX?
Yeah. Or you could come duel us.
You have a lot of duels coming up at GCX.
Really, yeah, that's going to be my bit the whole time, just dueling people.
Secretly, Tim has a deal with Disney where he got the new lightsaber that they showed off at
my God.
South by Southwest.
I thought that was fake. It's the same lightsaber they use on the cruise ship.
No, it's an improved version of that.
Well, it's better now. The one, it's not flaccid like hers. This one actually works. Yeah, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And they won't tell anyone how it works because they don't want anyone stealing their technology.
Well, someone's going to reverse engineer that bitch if they're going to be selling it.
Yep. So
if they're going to sell it, someone's going to figure it out.
Did you
what
see
I heard, it's like a tape measure. They say it's a very thin strip that goes up and down. The problem is that just like a tape measure, when it gets too long, it falls over. So they must have worked on just the tensile strength of that material, and it probably just carries light through it like fiber optics, I would assume, and it has a cap at the end to stop the light from continuing on. Oh my God, that's so smart.
Did you see the horrifying Judy Hopps from Zootopia animatronic they showed off too?
No, I didn't watch all of South by Southwest.
Google that one. It's like the next phase of Disney animatronics. It like gets up by itself with no help after it falls.
Like the Boston Dynamic dog?
Yes, but way more realistic and graceful. Like it's Judy Hopps. It's not painted or anything like that. It's just a framework, but you can tell it's Judy, and it's just crazy.
So I mean, you've been on the Avatar ride, the boat one, right?
I've only been on the boat. I haven't been on the flight one.
So the at the end, the shaman.
Yeah, that thing's wild.
That was like the top end of animatronics. Like no one could beat that. Like that was.
And it breaks all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and it's really creepy when it's like its skin is like partially removed and you're seeing it move and stuff. It looks
in the
really
documentary,
creepy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it's really creepy. But yeah, like that's like the top end of animatronics. So to think that they've gone even further than that, where it's like it's it's moving on its own without like, battery packs and shit. Like that's
it's not tethered to anything. It's like in this space. Now, again, it could be some sort of wireless charging pad that it's operating on that is on the table. I'm not sure, but it moves around the space.
Think about that. I guess it could just be wirelessly charging through its feet.
But it falls off of its feet at one point too, so keep that in mind. It's not.
Well, it doesn't always. I mean, like it might have like internal batteries and stuff that it's constantly charging. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, no, it's the future's terrifying and amazing all at the same time. Smile. Well, let's jump into it here, Tim. Bad Batch. Did you enjoy?
Jump right into it. Yeah, I really
Star Wars Mykonos.
Man, I really love the Bad Batch takes a vacation. It was, and
of course, trouble looms in the.
Oh my god! I love how they were like, well, we need to give them a little break, but how do we fuck it up? Oh, an earthquake. Like,
so here's my 2 cents. There's not much to talk about in this episode. It was great to see. The one thing that's interesting is Sid is pissed at them, and I think that's going to play into the end of the show.
Also, I love the relationship between Wanda Sykes and Tech. I think that's really cute.
Yes. Yeah, it's very much.
She's very motherly for she's very like motherly with Omega, and I could see like the three of them like happily living off in a planet somewhere.
It totally reminded me of Maz and Chewie when Maz is like, "Did you bring my boyfriend?" Which is one of my favorite lines in the sequel.
Where's my boyfriend?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, this could have been the last episode of the Bad Batch series altogether.
Right, that's what I thought it was. When Hunter's like, maybe we could stay here and help you. Like, I was like, okay, the gang lives happily ever after, but they're not going to. And they're not going to. Someone's gonna die. Crosshair's gonna kill one of them. Oh, something bad's gonna happen to Omega. Yeah, no, they could have just left it here, and I would have been fine with it.
No, I think we got 2 more seasons of Bad Batch at least. So, but they could come back. We know this place exists now, so they could come back. So, that's on the table. But yeah, it was. I mean, the episode was fine. It was fun to watch, but
I skipped through most of it.
There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah,
really.
I like it. I was like, because Kyler sat next to me, and I'm like skipping through it. And he's like, "What are you looking for?" And I'm like, "I'm just seeing if anything good happens." And he goes, "Oh."
Bad Batch meets new people.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole thing was cute. I mean, like it was just a chill episode. It was filler. It was just which pisses me off because we only have 1 more episode, right? No, 2 more episodes?
3.
Okay, we have 3 more episodes. So is this literally the last filler episode before we just hit we just full balls to the wall?
It might be only 2 episodes at the end that kind of go balls to the wall. I'm making sure though. Let's see. We have 3 more episodes, 14, 15,
So then, yes, if we're doing the cadence,
names.
Okay, go for the names.
Tipping Point is the next episode. The Summit is episode 15. And the final episode is what we've already heard, Plan 99, which I think is the Death Trooper program.
Oh, shit.
I think it has to do with the final removal of the clones and something to do with the Death Troopers. That's what I'm gathering. Let me see if before we Plan 99 Star Wars, if there's actual
execute Plan 99.
Reddit feels the same way we do. Oof! I just read a Reddit comment on Bad Batch. Let me guess.
Say it.
Hold on, I have to find the exact comment.
How much do you have to censor?
Let me guess. It's going to be a plan for a fetch mission where Omega puts everything at risk by doing something stupid, and it all works out in the end. ... Oof!
Yikes!
Anyway,
dude.
So there is nothing official from Star Wars about what Plan 99 is. So I think it is the removal of the clones and has something to do with Death Troopers. So we'll see.
I really hope the Death Trooper thing works out because we've been really leaning into that for a while. So it's hopefully coming. We get it. I mean, like we've been saying it for 2 seasons now.
It's coming. I mean, everything that happened with Crosshair is pretty much leading up to that.
Yeah, now, we left Crosshair on the table, right? That's where he was at the end of last week.
Yeah, right. Damn. Where we left Dr. Pershing. So I love the city. The city was gorgeous, reminding me of like European, Mediterranean, Greek. And the way it was built up was amazing, and the community was cool. But that's it. Like, that was the end of the episode. Cool. It was fun to visit a new place, but it was the Bad Batch formula of like, go to new place, help people, you know.
I just love how like they had to have something bad happen. They're like, oh, tremors happen all the time. And then it's just like, it's not a tremor.
It's a tsunami.
It's a fucking tsunami. And it's just like, I don't know. It felt really forced. Honestly, I thought the mountain was gonna explode. I thought lava was gonna come out. I thought it was gonna be a volcano. Like, that would have been more interesting to me. It's just like, I don't know, dude.
Even if it was a volcano, you still would have came here and been like, that was a pointless episode.
I would have said that was ass. I mean, like, the other part of the other point of this episode too was to make a point that like Omega needs like a normal life, but I feel like we all knew that already. I don't know. We have to really push that home.
That's been happening a lot. That's not news to us.
It's like, we know that she's messed up. She's got a lot of trauma. She's gonna need therapy. We know. She's been stuck in a ship with her brothers. Like, could you imagine what that would be like? I would kill them all. I love my brothers, and I would kill them all. You have 3 brothers.
No, I couldn't. I lived with my siblings for long enough. I'm cool.
Stuck in a
No offense to my brother who's coming to visit on Saturday, Justin. It'll be great to see you. Well, that's Bad Batch. So moving along in the Star Wars universe, Acolyte is planned to run for multiple seasons, Tim.
Yay!
Think of all the Sith
and darkness goodness.
Woo! The Hot Topic kid and Tim is so happy.
Yes.
So yeah, multiple seasons.
Want to wear the baggy black pants, Mom? I always something that I wanted to.
That took me a second. You're an adult, Tim. You can go buy them now if you really want to.
I always thought they were cool. I never got to wear them.
Go get yourself. You want me? I'm gonna get you.
I'm a closet goth. I think that's what I've just been waiting for to just come out and just.
I'm gonna get you. You're just full goth.
Just full goth. It was. Okay. I think it was the chains. I think that was always like. It was like, man, they got all these chains and shit. It looks cool.
I had a chain wallet. Does that count?
I had one too. That was as close as I got to having chains on my clothes. And my mom let me have it. Then, like, oddly enough, it was weird.
You should, if your Mando costume doesn't come, you should be a goth kid for Halloween.
It's coming, Kevin.
Just to see how it feels.
Just try it. Just to try it out.
Just see how it feels. Well, that's exciting for Acolyte. I mean, I assume that would be the case with Acolyte, but we also have like Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett, so it's fair to put it out there. Although both of those seasons have nothing but rumors about future iterations of it, so we'll see what happens. The biggest piece of news aside from Mando, which we'll get to in just a minute, Bob Iger says the next Star Wars movie must be the right one. So Bobby came in and canceled a bunch of the Star Wars movies.
That kind of sucks, though.
Yeah, but I think he wants to do it right, and I think he's watching Marvel, and I think Marvel under Chapek's watch also deteriorated. And Kevin Feige apparently is throwing stuff all around the Marvel office and kicking things. And then what's going to happen is they're going to take years to be able, because he's upset with how the scripts he's getting, and he's just not been happy about Marvel. I don't think they have direction right now. Now that we're past Endgame,
you also haven't seen the end of. Oh shit! You need to finish this because there's literally a Kevin Feige joke that's in
at the end of She-Hulk.
Okay, you've seen it.
I've seen the joke. Yes, I saw it. I spoiled it. I don't.
It's literally that.
Yes. Kevin, he's the robot. Yep, I know. So the thing that what I was going to throw in here before I read Bob's quote is the funniest thing to me is that James Gunn is now going to get to DC new stuff before they can course correct Marvel.
Oh no, DC's
which means James Gunn has a chance to swoop in and steal comic book fans.
Oh no.
It's going to get spicy. And I think they're also feeling the heat now that he's gone and they're not doing Guardians movies, that he's over there now and not with them. So there's a lot to play with. But Bob said, we made 3 what we call saga films, which is obviously the successors to George Lucas's first 6. They did very well at the box office, tremendously well, as a matter of fact. We've made 2 so-called standalones in Rogue One and Solo. Rogue One did quite well. Solo was a little disappointing, which upsets me because I like Solo. It gave us pause just to think maybe the cadence was a little too aggressive, and so we decided to pull back a bit. We are still developing Star Wars films. We're going to make sure that when we make one, it's the right one, so we're being very careful there. Bob is hitting the reset button on everything. He gave it to the wrong person. The wrong person didn't take the care and attention. So he's doing that while he trains his mentor. So the mentor will behave in the same manner that he is, which is what made them successful.
That gave me, like, honestly, I could not be Bob Iger because that was all very stressful for me.
You wonder why these guys make so much money. Do they get paid too much money? Probably. But at the end of the day, like, the pressure that they feel in their life will be nothing compared to what you ever experience.
No.
Like Chapek, yeah, he's like the meme of Woody Harrelson in that zombie movie where he's like drying his tears on them. That's where Chapek's doing right now. But at the end of the day, like, he's a disgrace. Yeah, he'll probably get a board job somewhere.
Terrible legacy.
But any shot at like a Fortune 500 board job, it's gone. It's gone. Yeah. The way he handled Disney has ruined his career in that manner. So
crazy.
It's just wild. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna hit up some Mandalorian, and we'll see you on the other side of this. And we're back. This episode was
so good,
awesome.
Kevin. Awesome. So good. I texted you like right at the end. I was like, "This is literally a Game of Thrones episode."
It was so interesting. Hunter was like, "What happened to Mando and Bo?"
Yeah. Oh my God, Kyler asked the same question.
And then when they shot back to them, he's like, "Finally," because he's more interested in them. He remembers Dr. Pershing, but he doesn't remember what his purpose is.
Yeah, Kyler started running around the room. He didn't care.
We can go through the episode. I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. So you remember a while ago when we talked about the cloning and all that stuff?
Yep.
Did you pay close attention to what Dr. Pershing said in his little speech in the opera house that Anakin met Palpatine in? He talked about taking good DNA and combining it with another good DNA.
Yep.
So remember the theory that Grogu is a clone of Yoda?
Yep.
Do you remember that theory?
Yep.
If that's true, whose DNA do you think the Empire was putting into the clone to fill in the gaps, Tim?
Clones. Yoda, Grogu's part New Zealand. Kiwi.
Do it.
I don't think so.
He puts his DNA in everything else. Why would he put it in this? I don't mean that in a sexual way. Literally, in experimentation. The guy loves to spread his seed all over the galaxy, not in the fun way.
Unlimited procreation
without the sex. No one told Palps that's the fun part of procreating. So
I don't like it.
I know you don't like it, and I knew you wouldn't, but it makes so much sense.
Why would you combine Yoda and Palpatine? Like Yoda
to create one of the most strongest Force beings the universe has ever seen. I know you don't like it.
I know you
don't, but it doesn't matter if you like it. It makes sense. The cloning facility in season 2.
That makes Grogu so important. I don't like it.
Why wouldn't he be important? He's there. He's not just there for the ride and to sell merchandise. There's a purpose to him.
I don't know, Kevin. I was thinking more along the lines of like that's how they were able to make a stronger body for Palpatine to reside in.
Paul's right. They did it with Anakin too.
Wait, who's they?
Palps.
But he didn't do that.
He force babied.
That's very different from clone baby.
Right, but it's still him, his essence, his spunk.
Man, he really does. He really likes.
I told you.
Yeah, but I don't think that's him though. That. Okay, no. There's no genetic material with Anakin. Just because he created life, the life via the manipulation of matter with the Force, that doesn't mean it's actually his essence. That's just he created life inside of Shmi. I don't think it's the same thing.
So
he didn't use his essence.
Ready? I'm gonna take you on a
oh my
journey.
God.
And you're the more science intelligent person in this conversation. So I'm operating purely on space magic and fantasy stories.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I'm going to piss him off. His chat is going to be so happy when they hear this episode. So if the Force is operated, if the living Force is operated through midichlorians, wouldn't essentially Force impregnation be some sort of transfer of midichlorians in the same way that sperm works?
Did you pull a muscle? Because that stretch was really far. I think you pulled something on that one. No, that doesn't make any sense. Get out of here. God, I hate your cloning talks. God, they piss me off. Anyways.
I don't even believe that one myself. It was just too stupid not to say anything.
God, that's something my chat would say. You spend too much time in my stream.
I'm sorry for hanging out in your chat all the time, Tim. I apologize.
You're literally becoming one of them. I hate it.
I hate to break it to you, but like I've said before, they think I'm the one that actually runs everything. Like I'm the puppet Palpatine behind the scenes. Like, keep streaming, Tim. Yes. Good. So moving away from that and talking about the episode now, I found that to be interesting. It was my first thought, and I think that's the direction they're headed in, whether you like it or not.
Well, we'll see when we get there.
You can't say that Grogu's not important. They've made it.
I know he's important, but I don't think that he is the living embodiment of a Palpy Yoda baby. I don't like it.
So you're more on the Yaddle Yoda boing boing train?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, I like that one a lot more. That one makes way more sense. I was really surprised how heavy this episode was on Dr. Pershing, though, which is something I didn't see coming. I didn't see that he was going to become a major part of the storytelling for this season.
Well, after what happened to him, I don't think he's going to be a major part of the storytelling.
I mean, I don't know. Is this a one-time episode, or we're definitely going to see him again? And we only saw him for like a very brief moment in previous seasons, so it's like really cool. He got most of this episode.
He was in the ship that they capture in season 2.
Right.
Remember? We briefly saw him there. So right. I think what part of this episode was we got to see Coruscant, New Republic.
So awesome.
The amnesty program was beyond interesting to me.
It was creepy.
It was,
and
they're all like, some of them you could tell are like, I did it because I was forced to, you know.
And then some people are like just full on brainwashed, like, woohoo.
The girl that the internet thought was Sabine is not Sabine.
Nope.
And I'm happy about that. She doesn't strike me as the right Sabine, if that makes sense. But I think Disney knew that we all thought that and would think that, because the way they set it up and a few of the things that she said, I absolutely was like, well, maybe. When she's like, I trained at the academy, I was like,
yeah,
so did Sabine. Mm-hmm. And she talked about not really having a choice of how she was going to grow up. And I was like, that sounds like Sabine. So the way things played out was interesting, but I think it showed that she's still working with Gideon. And I think
she's working with somebody. I don't think she's with Gideon, though.
Gideon might have escaped as per their conversation that we heard.
Oh, so okay, so go back to the beginning of this episode, or go back to the post-credit scene with her in season 2, where she's doing communications with someone. We never get to see who she's communicating with, right?
Right, which is why everyone thought it was Sabine.
Oh no, I still think though that there is a higher there's an admiral that she's in cahoots with.
One of the ones from Aftermath.
I think she's in cahoots with one of the admirals, and she, because she's definitely doing the bad stuff. Like even at the end, I really liked with the part where she's like frying his brain and then eating a biscuit. Like that was just very dark, and it felt really right for her. But yeah, I think I think what they're going to try to do is going to tie in more of the Aftermath stuff, and it's going to be one of the admirals that goes off into unknown territory, trying to find Thrawn and all that stuff. Because I feel like that's what I was waiting for. Honestly, I was waiting for a Thrawn nod. It's because of think of the Star Destroyer that we never got to see. Remember, we never got to see a Star Destroyer in this episode, but we got to see TIE bombers and we got to see a bunch of TIE interceptors. So there might be a super Star Destroyer out there. Like that's the only thing I could think of, because like, can a normal Star Destroyer carry that many types of starfighters? I don't know. But I mean, like those were a lot. There was a lot. Yeah. And so that's why I'm thinking
bombers.
So there was the two heavy bomb. There was the two TIE bombers that blew up Bo's castle, and then we had the 5 TIE interceptors that they killed, and then there was like 20 of them after that. So I mean, like you're dealing with like almost 30 different ships coming out of a Star Destroyer. I think that would be about normal, but I don't know what a normal Star Destroyer can carry versus a Super Star Destroyer. So that's why I'm thinking we're gonna get one of those admirals, one of those Grand Admirals to show up, and they're gonna introduce, because we need a new bad guy. We need someone new and interesting that we haven't seen before, and we haven't been introduced to a bad guy yet in this season.
Let's lay it all on the table. So they talked about Gideon escaping, so that is an option. We can put that on the table. We don't know if he escaped for sure because they said it was all rumors, so we don't.
Yeah.
Know. Option number 2 would be one of the admirals from Aftermath. Obviously, knowing me, I'm hoping it's Admiral Sloane because she's the best. But
she's such a badass.
She's also like not morally evil. She would be on that scale like lawful evil. So I don't think she'd make a good bad guy in this scenario. I think it's one of the other assholes.
Yeah.
That's
so I mean, like,
because they're all they're way worse than she is.
So if we go back to if Gideon has actually escaped, it would make sense why the attack on Bo's castle would have happened. It's personal. Like that feels personal, right? It doesn't feel like it's strategic. Also, side note, why didn't Bo have air defenses at her castle?
Nothing.
She has nothing. She has no type of defenses. It was just her and the robot. And I just
gone.
Yeah, her entire, she's like, oh, they burned my house. And I'm like, yeah, because you didn't have any defense at all. What were you expecting?
And then the last piece that it could be is Thrawn, because that would connect nicely to Rebels, Ahsoka, which is where this is all headed anyway.
And it's all in the Outer Rim, you know, and so it's just like it kind of makes sense. You know, like he's had it, like it kind of brings back Rebels a little bit.
All those admirals in Aftermath though were hiding out in the Outer Rim. We find that out in Squadrons.
Some of them are, yeah, right, exactly, and that would tie in with the video. That would tie in with the video game too. So that's why I'm thinking that I feel like they're not ready to throw the Thrawn card yet. I think they're really holding that one. Also, I'm still trying to figure out how that would fit in with Thrawn's character. It's just like it wouldn't really make any sense because like his last qualm was with the Rebel characters, not with Mando or with Bo-Katan.
They could be that could be the reason I bring that up is because that could be the paths that are converging now.
Sure. Yeah, most definitely.
We're back with Bo, and Bo's probably in every episode from here on out. She seems to be.
So I have to say, I think Katie Sackhoff has just been crushing it.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. Like
our friend Katie, by the way.
Dude. No, like honestly, I really enjoy Bo being a part of the show, and it just like it's good. Like it's really good acting. It's fun. Like it's really cool to have those two together. They play off each other really, really well.
Did you see the video of her talking about how Dave said to her when she was doing voice lines for Clone Wars?
Yeah, that came up a couple times.
Live action one day, and she's like, and then he sees her on set, and he's just like,
yeah,
we're here.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, she's been absolutely fantastic. I'm ready to see more. Dude, I had the biggest, like, I don't know, the feeling when they landed and I saw Paz Vizsla turn. It's not Paz. I always forget which
one of the
Vizsla he is. And he turned.
Yeah.
And he knew it was her.
I thought they were going to fight.
I did too, because he was like, and who are you, Night Owl?
Yeah, I was ready for them to throw down.
He knew who it was. He wasn't.
Mm-hmm. So I have to say,
those two clans do not get along ever in any scenario.
I really love how the Mandalorians coming out of the cave, the ones that are part of this clan, how they all look like they came they're the knockoff Star Wars toys that you would buy at the dollar store as a kid. Like that's what they remind me of. They're just all just like mismatched and just like wearing just like all this like random ass armor. I love it so much. It's the best look,
by the way. But no, but that's if you remember Sabine's armor,
yeah,
like, that's how the Mandalorians do it. Like
I just love it. I just love that look because like it looks so different from like how like Din and Bo look. Like Din is very much like very clean, very just like it all like it matches, you know. It just looks like he looks like a Mandalorian, right? Like he looks like a Boba Fett or like a Jango. Like it all like fits, and so does Bo. And then you look over and you've got like all these different pieces, and they're red and blue and green and white. It's just it's cool. I love the mismatchiness of it. It's so random and chaotic.
No, it's very it's interesting how they all express themselves. Keep in mind, Din's armor is pure Beskar. They all don't have that. Most of them, just their helmets are made out of Beskar.
Yeah.
And the rest is like plastisteel or whatever it's called.
Durasteel.
So they don't have come over here, Hunter. Hunter, come closer.
Kevin has a visitor today.
It's Master Chief. You want to say anything, Chief?
Hey.
Hunter, did you like the Mandalorian episode?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
What was your favorite part?
When they got back to the Mandalorians.
Told you. All right, go. Yeah, I told you. Once they came back, he was like, and then when he saw all of them, he had the same reaction you just said, Tim. He was like, look at all of them. They're so cool. Mm-hmm. And he did that in the first episode too. He's like, there's so many of them. I was like, Hunter, there's millions of them around the galaxy scattered. So now he understands that their planet was destroyed. So now and that's also the thing is now that they've gone, dude, I watched the last episode last night with Danielle because she hadn't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And Danielle goes, I wonder how they're going to prove that the water is going to prove that they went. Like how is she going to know?
Yeah.
And then when the armor was like in the thing and it glowed, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's got some type of property in it. I thought that was really cool.
She was prepared.
Yeah.
So it was cool to understand why they how they were going to do that and how they were going to understand that. So that was another great part of the episode. Did you notice too that the place that Dr. Pershing is working in is the place that Cyril Karn is working in Andor?
I was wondering if it was the same place.
It looks identical.
I think okay. So, but here's the thing, though, is like I would assume the New Republic just took over a lot of the Imperial office space, and I think because of Imperial construction, everything looks the same. So I would just go ahead and say that was just another office space that looked very much the same.
Maybe all right, I'll give you that.
Maybe reuse set. I don't know.
They haven't even fully moved in because the building where he was going for his like checkup interviews with the droid just had a banner on it. It wasn't like
there was nothing permanent. Yeah,
exactly.
Like that. That's why I think that it's still very early, and they're kind of just like they're just using what they got. It was really interesting to me. I know we're jumping all over the episode, but with this one, like where he was supposed to like get rid of all of this technology. Like why wouldn't they want to utilize stuff that was already there? Why would they just want to just decommission and dispose of it? Like that part just felt so odd to me. The way that things have gone in Star Wars as far as just like a part of the economy and whatnot. Like you go from the First Republic, and you've got all this stuff from the Clone Wars, and the Empire comes over, and they just like get rid of everything. They just destroy it from the ground up and then rebuild. And then the New Republic comes in and does the exact same fucking thing. They decommission all of the Imperial assets and then they rebuild their own. That's a lot of time. It's a lot of manpower. Why would you do that?
I guess they're going through what they want to get rid of and what they want to keep, essentially, is what the job is. So I'm not sure.
It just seems so silly. But I would assume that's also still like a part of the storytelling. It explains why things are so drastically different in each trilogy.
Yeah, and the Republic's probably super apprehensive to get involved in any sort of cloning after what happened the first time. So,
but it's not even just cloning though. Like he's decommissioning like just like all this other stuff. Like they had like a full functioning Star Destroyer just down there, and like the thing is like you're gonna go through So I guess this explains why the New Republic is unable to defend itself from the First Order, because they just destroy all military assets.
They should have gotten a 3D printer like Palpatine's got on Exegol. That would have been the play.
This is bad storytelling. You can't just
reason.
I want to know the reason. Why do you decommission all military assets without having a working military?
We'll find out in 10 years.
Wow. This is why the rebels lose. This is why the rebels lose. They're literally the French.
Also, I love the aristocrat in the beginning who's like, I almost got drafted. And I
hated that guy.
Like, by the Empire. And he was like, the Republic, the Empire, the Rebellion, who cares?
Okay, but honestly, though, Kevin, a great point. Like, look at how the New Republic is operating, though. It felt very imperialistic, but with like puppies and rainbows. Like, we're the good guys as we put you into a mind control machine. Like, it just it didn't feel right. Like, it felt wrong. A lot of this stuff felt wrong.
Don't forget Benicio del Toro in The Last Jedi. Remember his character, which I like his character. I thought he was fun.
The code cracker, I thought he was great.
But he talks about how the ship they're on was the arms dealer.
Uh-huh.
And they sold to both sides.
Right, exactly.
Is a real world example. Go watch what's the Nick Cage movie, Lord of War?
God of War. Lord of War.
So it's there is no like to the people.
Yeah.
And we've seen it in other points of Star Wars. At some point, yeah, the Imperials were way more oppressive than probably the other regimes.
Sure.
But the Republic always loses control because they're not doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always someone. And at some point during the history of the galaxy, if we go by legends, they both existed simultaneously, too. You had these two vast opposing powers. So it's just interesting to see how the people are like, they're fed up. They're just like, whatever, who's in charge? Which I think is a great play because I don't think that's the way they thought about it when they did the storytelling originally.
Yeah.
But now that it's out there, folks like Filoni and Favreau are like, let's mess with this. Like, it is ridiculous that we've had 3 regimes in 30 years.
Yeah.
So let's mess with this. Let's have fun. And the people are like, yeah, whatever. It's okay. It's cool. Have fun. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
It was a good episode. Like, the entire thing. Like, I really, really like seeing other sides of the story and kind of getting it from, like, I felt like Dr. Pershing was a very neutral body in this, where he didn't really have any affiliation or any type of loyalty, and just kind of seeing it from a neutral standpoint, life on Coruscant, and then just trying to figure out where you fit in the world, and trying to figure out like what's good and what's bad, and trying to do like what's best, and like and being told no with you, like, for what your passion is and things like that. Like, it was really interesting to see all of that kind of like wrapped up in this episode. And even though Dr. Pershing's story might be over with how this ended, getting to see again more sides of the story and filling in those gaps, and getting to see the stuff that we've always wanted to see, like more of Coruscant, like in between Andor and Mandalorian. Now we've seen more of Coruscant than we did in any of the movies, which is awesome and appreciated, because Coruscant is such an interesting planet. What did they call it, Kevin? What's
Ecu something-opolis?
It's something-opolis. Yeah, I mean, like,
the whole planet's a city.
I've never heard that term, but like, yeah, the entire planet is a city, and the only time that's ever brought up is Episode 1 when you see Coruscant for the first time, and the pilot for, I forget the pilot's name, the pilot for Padme's ship, and he's like, the entire planet is one big city. You know, like, that's the only time you ever really hear about like the intricacies of Coruscant. And then we were gonna get 1313, and then like that got scrapped. And then Coruscant again, he was only highlighted in SWOTOR.
Ecumenopolis.
It is Ecumenopolis.
World city is the Greek translation.
The entire planet is one big city. So yeah, it's just like for me, I really appreciate that. Like, getting to see the ISB agents and buildings. Getting to see like the more than just the Jedi Temple and the theater and Parliament. Like, that was it.
The only other planet I know of is Nar Shaddaa, which is the Casino Hut planet. It's the moon.
Yeah.
Where it's just one giant Las Vegas planet. So I like seeing it in the different time periods too, to see how each regime is treating it.
Yeah,
because it's always it's at the end of the day, it's just rich people don't really change their lifestyle no matter who's in charge.
You're
It's the
right. No,
outer
I mean,
rim, the
you're
mid
right.
rim. They see, like that guy said, like, oh, it doesn't matter, but the outer rim, the mid rim, they're the ones that see the effects more than anyone.
I don't know. Everyone was really happy when the Emperor died, though. At the end of episode 6, they had a whole celebration. They ripped his statue down. There was fireworks. Just saying.
He was the most impressive by far, and I'm sure, the things that he dissolved the Senate. That was not a good move on his part, and then a lot of the edicts that came down after that were pretty fascist. So even if you're rich and on top and it's not affecting you too much, you're still watching it all play out. And you're probably really, I'd be like, glad that guy's gone. So it's more along those lines than it was a direct effect on their daily lives, as opposed to the folks in the mid rim seems to suffer more than anyone, because a lot of times they don't make it out to the outer rim, or they don't have enough resources to go out to the outer rim. So it's the mid rim planets that suffer more than anyone in the core worlds. Mm-hmm. So it's at the end of the day, it seems like to an extent it doesn't really matter who's in charge.
Yeah.
And that's that's what makes Star Wars so great. And that's why you said it's like Game of Thrones, is the politics. We have space magic, but there's just so much good political.
Oh, so much.
In all eras of Star Wars, in all of them, it's so good.
This is what happens when you kind of tweak the storytelling a little bit and you make it a little bit more adult or a little bit more mature. And like you take away kind of just like the good versus evil space magic stuff. Like, because like, I don't think you could really get into this in a 2-hour movie. You would lose people. But in a show, you can get away with this, especially the way that they open with Mando, they end with Mando, because that keeps everybody. It keeps them, even though they know that this story that was going to be slower than others. It was a really important story to tell for the overall Star Wars, I think, universe. And so like that was even the way that they did this was really, really smart. And I don't think you'd be able to do this type of storytelling through a movie. So like good on them for being able to do this in the 55 minutes that we had. Like it was really, really well done.
They have to get back to movie storytelling at some point, like Bob said. Like they have to do the sagas again. They have to do the one-offs. But right now, the bread and butter is they're kicking the shit out of Marvel now. Remember, it used to be like, oh, the Marvel stuff was better. Yeah. Now the Star Wars television shows, the last two.
It's HBO quality stuff, man. I'm like, this is like up there with Last of Us. Like I can like in season 2 for me with Mando, it's kind of like hit and miss. Like there was definitely like some really good episodes, and there's kind of like every single episode so far, even the first one, I am very confident saying that this is up there with The Last of Us as far as entertainment, as far as storytelling, as far as cinematography and use of practical and CGI effects. Everything has just been phenomenal with the show so far. I have nothing bad to say about Mando right now.
You just love Pedro Pascal.
Oh my God, I love him. He is my daddy.
What's hilarious is he's not acting most of the time under the helmet.
No, he's doing all of his lines after the fact.
Yeah, which is pretty funny with him. Also, before we jump out of here, because we're gonna go now, I gotta ask you: did you finish Last of Us?
I have not seen this past Sunday's episode, but I know what it is. I know what it is.
Well, you have to watch it for me to. I want to know if you feel like it was rushed, or you feel like what we do in the game doesn't translate to the screen.
Okay.
Because I'm torn. I feel both.
Okay.
So, and then they announced this week that Last of Us Part 2 will take place over multiple seasons.
Yeah, I mean, like I think we all knew that. The story is far too complex to tell it in one season. You can't.
I mean, you could just spend an entire season telling Abby's story and then.
Dude, you could tell, yeah, especially with all of the flashbacks that you go through for just Joel and Ellie. That is enough for an entire season.
Wait till the flashback at the beginning of this episode, because it is game changing and it is not in the video games.
No way.
Oh, it is a big deal. And again, Neil Druckmann's the one making the show, so you sit there and you're like,
that's why I'm like, ooh, that's exciting, because that becomes lore.
Like, that's what was in his head. That's how he wants to tell the story, or how over time it developed in his head. But this is his story to tell. So this
is what happens when the original game developers get to remake their game. Like look at Dead Space, for example. The original devs are working on that game, and they got to do the stuff that they didn't get to do because of technology limitations. Well, he's getting to do the same thing. He's just doing it in the live action space. He's like, now I have an entire live sandbox of real people to get to do whatever I want. And so now he gets to tell that true story that he didn't get to tell originally.
Supposedly, there's a rumor that HBO wants to sign a full-on deal with Naughty Dog to do Last of Us, Uncharted, and then HBO's also interested in God of War.
Wait, I thought Amazon had God of War.
Amazon picked up God of War. That's what I was thinking. Amazon picked up God of War.
I was like, hold on.
So yeah, they want to sign a deal to do an Uncharted show, and like not like the movie, like
because the movie was ass.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
The movie was terrible. I love Tom Holland, but that movie was terrible.
Yeah, no.
After I watched the movie before playing the games, and after playing the games, I'm like, the movie sucks ass compared to this.
I heard if you watch the movie first, you're like, oh, that was a fun movie, like kind of like
it was. That's what I said. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I played the games.
The games, you're like, fuck, that's not Nathan Drake.
Nope. That's not what Sully looks like.
That's not Sully.
This guy's from Boston. Oh my God, I'm just looking for my car. My name's Sully.
Hot Mark Wahlberg is Sully. Stop. No.
Marky Mark.
Sully is a grumpy old man who has the best one-liners. Stop. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for Star Wars and Scotch. Episode 123. We'll be back next week with episode 15 from season 2 of The Bad Batch, episode 3, season 3 of The Mandalorian, and whatever news comes our way. Make sure you head over to Tim's channel, fb.gg/darkness429 to go hang out with Tim. I'm in there all the time, apparently.
All the time.
Even if I'm not talking, if you tag me, you'll probably find me because it's just open on my desktop. And then I get a little desktop alert because sometimes Tim's chatters do that to me, and then
usually I yell and go, "Where's Kevin?" And then they start tagging you.
Yeah, and then I join in on the shenanigans of running with scissors and lighting things on fire. So fb.gg/darkness429 and D429 darkness429 everywhere else on the internet. And like I said, I'm KMagic101 on Instagram, Kevin X Vision on Twitter. I had to think about that one for a second. And raredrop.co is where we do everything, and you can listen to more episodes of Star Wars and Scotch. Rate, review, subscribe. It helps us out a bunch, and we'll see you next week. Timmy!
May the Force be with you.